Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from Everyday Guy, Ridiculous Guy, and welcome back to the letters. So in the last episode, a lot of things happened, even though it was the first part only, or two parts since I split it into two. So yeah, we finally started off with our best character ever, Luke. Where we started with what I was so much asking in this whole series. What happened with Hana's body? What happened with Hana's body? Well, Hana's body was just apparently stashed into the children's room. Still rotting, yeah, because we started off from the place where he murders Hana and then regrets it really good. And yeah, after that he gets a little bit normal, but that's just Luke for you. He just gets a little alright with it, considering we get to know that he has committed a lot of murders in the past, including, I'm assuming, the one which Ash was investigating about, that is Professor Clark's wife murder. And yeah, most possibly he has done that too. And yeah, just as he and the butler were planning to what to do with Hana's body and all, and as he took a little chill pill in the garden, the ghost came up, although in a beautiful form. I mean, not creepy looking form, the maid one. And we had a good chat until she got a little creepy on us, found our little secret, and then that face was so good of Luke and everything that went on over there, oh boy. And then after that, the next day came up over here where we just woke up, little wanted to stay alone, but Kylie came up, look at that, oh boy, and now we are gonna be chilling with her. Yeah, let's see how that will go, considering how she can also make creepy faces. Yeah, let's see how creepy will that be, especially when he gets the treatment already. So let's go. Good morning, dear Luke. Speak of the devil and she shall appear. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, Kali grins up at me as soon as I open the bedroom door. She swings the backpack she's clutching, hitting my leg in a show of impatience and looking entirely unapologetic for it.
Did you just wake up? Oh, tell me you forgot. We're waiting today.
She's so cute, man. I nearly did, really. It's harder to remember something as trivial as an ordinary playdate when there's murder fresh on one's mind, yep. But there's this instinct, long ingrained, to act as if everything is normal despite the blood on my hands, and despite the body just being right behind her in one of those rooms. Else I would have spiraled out of control a long time ago and things wouldn't be as good as they are now. Besides, she's a bright child, tolerable, kid's got a good head on her shoulders and can get pretty mature for her age at times. Of course, they have to thank me for that. Her parents can take partial credit, but Hana and I have been there for this kid since she was just a small babe. Why I can't still remember the first time I saw her? It was during her baptism. The only reason I was there was to accompany Hana, who was to be named godmother. She was such a tiny thing, not even a year old, and swaddled in her mother's arm and white cloth. It was the first time I really saw an infant up close enough to hold one at least. It had been terrifying to be given a little child to carry after the whole war ceremony. I have never done so before that, to hold a tiny life in my arms. I would have just dropped her on her head and this little tyke before me would have stopped existing then and there. God damn. But the child just smiled at me, babbling nonsensical words as children do, and clinging to me even as I tried to hand her off to Hana. She had thought it hilarious and adorable. My suit had been a mess and I was nearly an anxious wreck by the time I handed her back to her mother. Yet it was pleasant too.
Of course I didn't, you little rugrat. I just had to take care of something before you arrived.
Really? Well, I guess that's fine. As long as you told me for work like last time.
Really? Now why don't we go back down and have breakfast in the parlor?
I already ate at home. Papa made one of his tortillas de patatas. He wouldn't let me leave until I finished every bite.
Ah, the sewer's infamous tortilla de patatas. Those things are a hazard. can probably use one to guillotine someone, I hope I said that right, into submission with how huge they are. It's a miracle Kylie can still be so energetic. I had troubles staying awake the first time I had one. Speaking of staying awake,
Well, I need some coffee in me at the very least. But if you'd like, you can jump straight to dessert.
Yes! Dessert, please!
it's easy enough to manage Kylie with the promise of sweets, thankfully. The hard part is managing her before she gets the sweets, because I nearly have a heart attack when the kid races down the stairs. Just the thought of her slipping and breaking her neck is enough to make me rush down after her.
Slow down, the food isn't going anywhere.
The food is going somewhere. In my tummy.
Jesus Christ, children.
With a shake of my head, I usher Kylie towards the parlor and order a maid to bring food for us. Whatever breakfast there is, along with a cup of coffee for me and an ice cream for Kylie. And I can't leave the kid alone for too long unless I want to let her turn the other room into a slaughter ground. True to my expectations, I have only left Kylie alone for a few minutes, but she's already made herself comfortable. The stuff from her backpack has been left scattered across the room, from coloring books and crayons to toys. She's well equipped to amuse herself with no trouble, though I can certainly breathe a little easier if she won't bring her doll along every time she visits, and that's quite a creepy one, I will say. Arcisa is a creepy little bugger. It doesn't help when Kylie left her during one. Finding the thing at the bottom of the stairs, staring up at me at 3 o'clock in the morning is a memory that won't be leaving me anytime soon. Yeah, a doll like this, or any doll like this, at the bottom of the stairs at 3 o'clock is definitely something creepy then. Even now, it stares at me from where it's seated. I'm wholly tempted to just throw the thing into fireplace and banish it from whence it came. I can buy her a prettier doll, a better toy. I will break it, find a way to get rid of it if it wasn't from Hana, and if only Kylie isn't so attached to it. The thing is some antique doll she found for the brat's 6th birthday, one of a kind. My darling Hana loved her so, and Kylie does try to be a good goddaughter, but she just can't keep her interest long with the wife. It's not something that Hana does wrong on her part. She does try so very, very hard. It's just that she doesn't quite know how to really handle kids. She had never been around other children when she was young, surrounded by protective adults who catered to her every whim and worried for her safety every minute. When she isn't able to keep up with Kylie, her first instinct is to be strict. Impose rules on the child, treat her as if she is made of spun glass, like every movement might break her. At least have some idea from being around street kids. I know the games they have played and how they think. I know that scraps and skinned knees are all part of childhood. Even with how I grew up, I had time to be a child and not some sheltered heiress. With Kylie, as behaved she can be with her toys and her books and arts, she has to use up all her energy somehow. To run around the playground and make a mess in the mud, or to even just fake wrestle for a short while. Let her be a child when she wants, I will say. If it becomes too much, just bribe her with sweets or ship her back to her papa. Problem solved. Unfortunately, Hana wasn't quite up for those sort of things most of the time, thinking it will spoil the child. It turned a whole playdate awkward every time. Taking the last seat left, I plucked one of her coloring books from the table to see it filled with dinosaurs. Not exactly what I expect to see for a little girl, but it doesn't hurt anyone. If she wants to play with dolls and cars, or dolls with their cars, what do I care? She once put dolls tutus on model cars, even.
Oh, this is a new one. The last one you had was filled with horses, wasn't it?
Those were ponies, Tio. They're much cuter than horses. But we went to a dinosaur zoo, and it was awesome! Dinosaurs are my favorite.
I have no idea what that is, but it must be something. I'm only familiar with the T-Rex myself.
Yeah, they found, fossils of its claws. They're really long. They think the whole theory might be a bazillion meters tall, even bigger than a T-Rex. Cisa says it'll be big enough to eat all my classmates.
Look at that face. She only laughs as I scrunch up my nose and grimace.
Takako says you're making a really funny face.
Taka who?
Takako, a friend I made.
Takako. Oh. She is right over here, isn't she now? I have to stop and look around, expecting one of the help to be there. Child does have a way of befriending just by about anyone, as long as she puts her mind to it. Yet the two of us are completely alone. And Takako is here. And thankfully, she only finds my disturbed look as another funny grown-up expression. That might be a lot more problematic than whether she plays with dolls or cars though. Both the thoughts of Sisa giving Kylie ideas, and one of said ideas being massacred by a dinosaur, something I probably need to bring up with the father aside from the work. Beyond murderous dinosaurs, creepy dolls, and imaginary friends, I find no trouble with Kylie. She's as energetic and precocious as any tyke her age can be. She is an angel if she can get comfy and settle in after getting her sweets. We tuck into our waffles as soon as food is brought in. Our waffles because she wanted her own plate to go with the ice cream as soon as she saw mine. A fresh plate of berries is brought in as well, which really goes great with the rest of this feast, as Kylie puts it. And if I indulge in the sweetness, I have a cup of black coffee to pair it off with. With our bellies full, Kylie grows content with just scribbling on a scrap of paper and calmly chatting about her week. She talks of her older brother Rowan and their parents, how they plan to go to the Bloxland in Berkshire for the winter holidays. She talks of Miss Payne, and I have to shift my legs to become comfortable once more. The memory of my initial meeting with her still fresh on my mind. She talks of the sad man in the park and of her new friend who likes to play hide and seek when she's not sniffing in the loo. When finally she finds nothing new to talk about, she goes back to her drawings. That will change as soon as her stomach settles, of course, the calm before the storm. Because behaved as she is right now, I can feel the curiosity just radiating off her. There's a restlessness buzzing under her skin and a question on the tip of her tongue, as they often are with children her age. But for now, I can take this piece with no complaint for however long it stays. I have fun with crayons as well, at the child's insistence, even if I can't really draw. With Kylie using the black crayon, that leaves me with the yellow one. I absent-mindedly start to doodle flowers, which are just about the only thing I can actually do decently. I have halfway filled the page with yellow when Kylie breaks her silence.
No, where is Tia? Is she still sleeping in bed again? Is she gonna join us later?
I will be lying if I say I'm not worried about going on with this line of questioning. I honestly am not expecting her to ask about her godmother, because the godmother has gone to God now. Or maybe not, considering she becomes a ghost or so, as we see. Or let's see. For all that Hana was her actual godparent, she isn't as fond of her as she is of me. For a moment, paranoia fills my mind. It's suspicious of her to ask about a dead woman for no reason. I do realize this is ridiculous to think a child is a threat to me. Oh, you will soon realize in a couple of seconds if she turns into what I think she will. Her father might be putting her up to it to find dirt on me, my mind supplies. I'm not too disillusioned to think that the people working under me are actually loyal to any extent. I can't stop myself from being defensive.
What do you care? You've never asked for her before.
Mama's been asking about her. She hasn't visited for a while.
There's a shrug and some sense to her words. If that doesn't relieve some of the tension from me, nothing else will.
I don't know where she is, Munchkin. She's probably off somewhere doing grown-up things.
That makes sense. Tia does a lot of boring grown-up stuff. There's always a boring grown-up parties. You must be happy you're not doing a boring grown-up thing right now thanks to me.
Hey, I'm doing a grown-up thing. I'm taking care of you, aren't I, you little rugrat?
I'm still on edge, but it's easy enough to put on a carefree mask once I get a grip of myself. The roll of her eyes and the way she looks at my doodles in a false, serious manner helps too.
Oh, your drawing doesn't look grown up to me.
Nevertheless, like any child her age, the line of questioning doesn't exactly stop.
Is Tia still asleep? I want to give her this pretty drawing I made for her.
And I know that they can't help it, that they don't know where to cross the line out of genuine and innocent curiosity. Yet that doesn't stop me from snapping.
Tia isn't here, alright?
So where is Tia?
She's not anywhere that I know of. Probably at another party, shaking hands and all that.
But she's coming home soon at least, right, Tio?
Enough, you little brat. Can we just...
I don't know where Hana is. That's the official excuse for when her disappearance is looked into. It's easier to claim ignorance, to have a lack of liability if foul play is ever suspected. There would be no means rea or actus reus if I spin the whole affair and make myself the clueless bystander. It will be easier to manipulate the story if I remove myself from it, whichever way we chose to deal with this mess. But I'm blindsided by the interrogation of a child. Whispers in my ear conspire. Silence her. End her. No, don't do that. I have to shake my head to clear away the thoughts. She didn't deserve my anger for such innocent questions. Because this is just a kid. This is Kylie. My god, I don't need to silence her. I had
Let's
to...
just have fun, alright? I'm so sorry, Kylie. Please don't cry. I didn't mean to.
I raised both my hands in a non-threatening manner, trying to placate her, only for her to take a step away, wide-eyed and terrified. This look on her face just crushes something in me. She doesn't let me say anything more than that before she runs away crying about wanting to call her father, about wanting to go home. Her crayons and toys lay strewn about, forgotten. Even Narcissa is left behind. She never leaves her doll behind if she can help it, and now it's looking at me, accusing. I've never shouted at her before. I had no right to. And even if I want to deny it, some part of me was about to raise my hand to her when I promised a long time ago that I would never harm a child. I just can't help this awful energy that's taken over me. I feel so angry and tense and...
Sisa, what is wrong with me? Am I going mad?
Kinda, considering that, you are getting more angry and tense than before because of the thing that is lingering around you. But still, it's normal you only, so it's kinda your fault only, yeah. I don't think I can spend any more time with Kylie considering how high-strung I feel. So it is a good thing that Suarez came for her as soon as I've called. Though it is earlier than the agreed upon time, he voices no complaint. The pastor even has a look of relief as soon as they left. Or at least I interpreted it as such from where I stood by one of the windows, not bothering to step out and greet the man. No doubt he still doesn't trust me around his pond. Well, he has every right to be suspicious of me. I'm a dangerous man after all. But to my chagrin, that leaves me with the rest of the day with nothing to do. Well, aside from picking up the mess Kylie left scattered about in the parlor, to my immense relief, she remembered to take her doll home with her this time. But the same cannot be said of the crayons and papers littered here and there. First things first, I snatch my own doodle off the table and rip it to shreds, leaving no hope that it will see the day of light. The rest of the drawings, all Kylie's, remain unharmed as I collect the lot. Though they have been stacked neatly on the table before, they must have been blown apart when I saw Kylie off. And there are plenty of them. From cats and cakes to colorful rainbows and gardens, the child managed to make a lot during her morning here. There is one more that I have to fish out of the fireplace where it landed. Expecting to see another one of Kylie's masterpiece, I am instantly greeted with something a bit more concerning. There is me, and there is Kylie, the two of us side by side, and smiling as our stick figure selves stand in nondescript field with "Oh, Takako!" That much I can ascertain without looking at the labels below the doodle's feet. Like, how she considers her to be pretty normal. Like, look at that. That's a genuine normal person right there. But a third figure stands next to me in that drawing. A woman with her face hidden behind a curtain of black. Not exactly. Look at her eyes. Look at that. That's like something from Witch's House. Like, no eyes. Just total hollow eyes. Takako, the writing under her supplies.
Takako says you're making a really funny face.
Taka who?
Takako, a friend I made.
The hairs on the back of my neck stand on end and I feel a chill go down my spine. A breath that isn't mine. That has me turning around, expecting, hoping to see someone, anyone. But nothing. And that's when I hear it. Laughter, sweet and merry laughter ringing from the ballroom. Thinking about it has my cheeks burning and my blood running hot. It's as if I'm being mocked. As I stomp towards the door, I have to stop myself from shouting up a storm. I expect to see some of the help dawdling about, idle from their duties. Perhaps they thought they can slack off in their duties without the head butler around and with my preoccupation with Kylie. Well, they had another thing coming. And there's no one. But again, nothing. Nothing from what I can see with a cursory glance. At the very least, I roam around looking for near impossible hiding places and still I'm all alone. Yet I can still hear the laughter, that accursed laughter echoing about in the room in my head.
Who's there? Show yourselves and show some respect to the master of the house!
Cold uneasiness settles into my stomach when no one herself. I stumble on my own 2 feet, feeling a wave of nausea coming from nowhere. I have to put a hand against the wall to stay upright when the world shifts and pain explodes from behind my eyes. It takes every ounce of my self-control not to heave then and there. The only thing my pride allowed me to do then is to close my eyes and attempt to alleviate some of the pain. Vague, unfamiliar images, dare I say memories not mine, flash in my head, unbidden and unwelcome. Let's see, like a strong hammer strike to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it into whatever emotions they hold are muted. I'm nothing but a spectator. Oh, still its weight feels palpable. Though it doesn't take long for the sensations to get into my head. Through my eyes and my ears, it creeps and buzzes in the spaces between. Oh, she nearly drops her tray as she enters her lady's bedchambers. The lady is being taken against the wall like a common street whore. That man is not her lord, her prince, but she is not of a station that will allow her to judge. That doesn't keep the shock from her features or from her voice.
The lady, I brought the My apologies.
Her voice is small, subdued and shy. Though the lady needs no words to express her displeasure as her face turns from one of pleasure into that of anger and accusation. Her glare burns, focused and scalding. If looks could murder, the servant girl will be dead where she stands. All the while her lover still moves in and out of her, either unaware of their audience or enjoying the act even more because of her. Whispers and accusations fill every crevice of my head, ringing and echoing around like a terrible case of tinnitus. Tinnitus, I guess. They stare, gazes filled with judgment and disgust. Even before their beloved lady has spoken, she is already condemned.
This horrid woman! I beg the court for justice! Who knows what this devil's bride is capable of? She has already bewitched my love, my betrothed. I just cannot bear to think of what she has done to him after. Or what else she may do to our people if we let her live. Blood taints this woman's hands, and I deserve to be repaid in kind for that which she has taken from me.
She sounds exactly like Hannah, I will say. There is nothing for her but death, and she knows this. Her silence says as much. One after the other, they come at me, an unending flood that threatens to sweep me away for what feels like an eternity. Though I guess this is about it. We only got 2 fragments, and that's what we are saying. Each one, a show of both joy and suffering for those who have called this mansion their home. Each new scene is like a hammer to the head, threatening to crack my skull and split it in two. I can feel every little emotion in the blurry images that present itself in my mind. I feel a part of this like I have lived through them, though I know that is not possible. All their anger burns through me, that much is evident, but the pain more so. And above all of it are the whispers. The voices calling, roaring, until one image emerges in vivid contrast with the others. When there is a shout of joy, my eyes snap open looking for the culprit. That's when the whole room just changes. Everything is the same, yet everything isn't. There are people everywhere, laughing and dancing. I should be concerned about them, but my mind finds it easy to dismiss them as they fade in and out from nothingness. Instead, I find my concentration drawn to a man and woman, though one can only call them a lord and lady going by their clothes, which looks like them only, Hannah and Luke. And oh, just see how happy the couple looks. Though the man's eyes are eerily blank, like he's not all there, his face is familiar though. In fact, they both are, but I can't place why. The two make for a pretty picture as they dance in the center of the ballroom. Even the phantom crowd's attention stay on them. Reminds me so much of Hannah and I during the early days of our marriage, the honeymoon years they call it. We were happy then too, all smiles and our sunshine, even with the normal dreary weather. Younger we had less to worry about, or at least thought that way. I wished we could go on that way even with all that I did and had to do. But life has a way of catching up. There was work to be done. Although we had to stay the loving, perfect couple in public, I could not afford to look so weak, to appear tied down to someone else, to those who knew who I really am. I had to harden my heart when I have business, but it hadn't always been so easy to just switch that part of me on and off. I should be concerned about their intrusion too. Ask what in bloody hell they are doing in my house, throwing a party as if they own the place. I mean, they are ghosts, phantom looking. Ask myself how the hell I didn't notice what was going on before, when the parlor and the foyer are both only a few doors away. There's a horrid feeling of envy. And though I have long accepted that I am a jealous person by nature, I have never felt such a strong feeling of envy as I have now. They were happy with each other, these people, but Hannah and envy turned into anger. Anger for something I could not have. But I have the feeling that yelling and screaming at them won't do much of anything anyway. None of the others have given me notice. I realize that this might not even be real. It dawns on me that these two are the people from the paintings, the one all over the mansion. Which makes sense. I don't think I'm imaginative enough to make all this up on my mind or on my own. This must be a dream. Or a really horrible high. Just then I can feel eyes on me as I contemplate the absurdity of the situation. Yet I find difficulty in trying to tear my eyes away from the two dancing. I manage, and I regret looking away. Uh-oh! There she is, the woman from the garden stands beside me. I can hear her rattling breath, menacing and chilling. Everything in me screams to run, but something pins me to the spot as she just looks at me, watching and waiting. Is she finally gonna say the story of her? The clamor of their voices fill the ballroom. Although they say such welcoming words, I do not feel comforted by the madness I'm experiencing. Their joyous voices turn sinister and foreboding to my ears. The chorus of people that shouldn't exist, threaten to overwhelm me, drown me even as I stand on dry land. The music still plays as the Phantom Quartet continues while I stand here, vulnerable and afraid when the dance has already ended. And I'm afraid that I might just be tonight's entertainment. Attention is all well and good until blocks like this go down. These phantom people watch me, thousands of eyes scrutinizing, though they cheer for my return, cajole me to dance and join the merriment. There are eager hands all over, pulling me in every direction, but they do not move me enough to remove me from the woman's gaze.
Listen. Can you not hear them as they welcome you home? Your kind, our kind. You are one of us, my lord. We are bonded by the blood we've shed.
If I thought the voices were overwhelming before, it is nothing compared to how they are now. Their voices are loud, speaking in unison and echoing ever on in the spaces of my head. They welcome me back as if I have always belonged, as if I was meant to be here in the first place. They call me all these titles and names that do not belong to me, and that man's face, the one with empty eyes, flashes again before me, once fleetingly, like a new memory having burned itself in my mind. I have to struggle for air when I come back to myself after.
I'm not. This isn't.
The welcomes turn into screams at my protest, pain and desperate pleas for my help, telling me that it is my duty to stay, telling me that I belong among them, to them. Gentle touches turn near threatening, the warning scratches and the baring of teeth by predators before they truly maim someone. My mouth goes dry as I struggle to speak some sense in this hallucinatory madness, but I don't get the chance as they drown out my voice.
Our lord, my prince.
At her words, there is a compulsion to stay, though my heart races in my chest. The fear I should be experiencing refuses to register in my head. Mind and body war with each other, nearly tearing me apart. Tearing. Oh, you finally returned to us. The compulsion to walk into her arms is strong. Whispers in my head tell me to go to her. They say that she is safety, she is home and heart. We have been waiting for so long. But repulsed at these thoughts, I wrench away and turn with a small gasp. Without hesitation, I start to make a run for it and nearly falter when an angry shriek pierces the air, inhuman and monstrous. I don't dare look back, I just run. I don't care if this is a drug-induced hallucination or not. Just run! Out of the ballroom and out of the parlor. It's only then that I bother to look back, hoping and praying to God I scorned that it did not pursue me. It does not have to, but I would have run all the way out of the mansion too if only someone didn't get in my way. I collide with a body much larger than mine and fall back to the ground, head spinning as I look up at the stained glass. Turning my head to the side and replaces with colorful sight with a pair of shiny black shoes. Yep. Fatigue fills every inch of my being then, making me refuse to get up. Meanwhile, a familiar head of ginger hair looks down at me in bemusement.
You really must look where you're going if you insist on running about. Do tell, where is the fire?
Oh, thank God you're here.
I do hope you don't have a concussion. Can you count backwards from 15 to 1 for...
Oh, you wanker, just help me up.
I do not think insulting me if you do have a concussion is a smart decision. But no, really. 15 to 1.
That woman, she was here. I told you to keep an eye out for her.
The other man offers an arm and pulls me up to my feet then. But before I can storm off and pull him to the ballroom, he anchors me down with one hand on my shoulder and the other touching the back of my head.
No bruising or bump. That still does not mean that you don't have a concussion. If you are too lazy to count backwards, can you tell me your full name? Where are you currently?
We don't have Lucille Mitchell Wright, and this is the Ermengarde bloody foyer. But we don't have time for this.
You must make and have the time to make sure you are not broken in the head. I have already sent security to scour the whole house when I saw you running out of the parlor, Dummkopf. If the woman is here, they will have her. You will only be slowing them down if you plan to interfere.
When he points that out, I realize that there are guards starting to filter into the house as we speak, with some already searching the nearby rooms. Armed and uniformed men go about in pairs, making it so that the house is in a flurry of activity. He lets go of me then, with the knowledge that I'm not going to keel over anytime soon.
I was hoping that you would be tired from dealing with the young miss on my return. Instead, you come running and hit your head. Such a troublesome boy. Shall I be carrying you to bed, too?
I can manage just fine on my own. Though I don't see how I can sleep until that woman is caught.
It'll be easier to keep you safe in your quarters. This is twice we've known the woman to break in. I think we can safely presume that you hold her interest.
He says it as a matter of fact in a tone that brooks no argument. Not like I will argue if it means I'm kept safe. The two of us hurry upstairs, though we remain watchful and wary of any potential threats to my person. We make it to the master bedroom without any trouble, though, and the two of the security are left outside the door. No problems at all. Breathing a momentary sigh of relief, I sit down on the bed while the other man looks out in the balcony and closes the door behind him.
The balcony is clear.
And is thorough, looking in the closets and under the bed, even going so far as to looking in the nursery, but it is with that he comes back silent. Johan's eyes scan the room warily, searching to see if he missed something.
What have you done with the madam?
What do you mean?
The body. It isn't there.
What? Last I checked, it's still there. It's not like anybody knows where the body is. Did it just stand up and walk away? Got tired of being dead and decided to unkill itself?
It isn't there? That must mean it's somewhere else. And the house is crawling with guards, none of whom knew that Hana is already dead. I feel the color drain from my face. Before I can take a step out, he raises a hand to stop me from charging out there.
Stay.
Stay? Do you see the problem we have here, Shroken? Are your eyes open, Shroken? Do you see the problem we're having here, Shroken?
With my own eyes.
What the bloody are you still doing there, then? Hana's corpse. A corpse is missing. If anyone else finds that bloody body, we are going to have an even bigger problem than Suarez's company leak.
Which is why I'm asking you to calm down. This isn't...
You do not understand, do you? Okay, everything is at stake here.
Money, reputation, connections, the company I've built. Everything. There's no second thought as I reach under my side of the bed and pull out one of my knives. I have no doubt that the other men can take me on if we are both unarmed, but with this I can even the field, or at least deter him from escalating the situation and risking hurting either of us.
I'm going out there to look for that damn body, and you're either with me or you're fired! I am not risking anything. I am not losing everything.
Yep, that's why you kill Hana, right? Still, like a stubborn mule, he refuses to budge from the door. There is a withering look on him that I try to match. One that somehow I am losing fast too, even with him not saying a word yet.
Can you see yourself in the mirror right now? You're in no proper state to go looking for anyone, let alone your wife's dead body. If it'll make you happy, I will do the looking. But please, and don't make me repeat this, stay where it's safe, where security can find you. We already have one matter to be worried about. Please don't add another one to it.
Perhaps it is his tone. In spite of his general disdain for virtually everything that has to be done with me, I'd like to think that over the years he has grown some sense of duty to his employer at least. Much as I loathe to admit this, I trust him over any other servant in this house. So it accuses.
You have 2 hours, Shroken. I don't think it'll take that long to find one lifeless fucking corpse in this godforsaken house. 2 hours. Any more than that, I'll do it myself.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in that damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child, watching me and treating me like one? That's the reason why we will never get along.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Nothing. I just hope you're happy.
Verily, now mush!
As you wish.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod, he leaves, locks and closes the door behind him. For a moment, I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions, then a hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, lightning flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. The power goes out not a second later, and I feel as if I am being mocked by whatever greater power there is. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again. And then what happens with the guard? I think they all get killed off, though, considering we only see Johans as Ash come over here, though. Far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning. Its pitter-patter hitting hard against this place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here. Shotgun will find her, and when I wake, I won't have anything to worry about. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, in a matter of minutes, darkness claims me. Bringing with it laughters and whispers of a twisted love from a time long gone.
Who are you? Stay away!
Sweet dreams, my love. It will be over soon. Whoa! Yet, in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from the shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, arduous process. Difficult, every limb heavy with lead, no matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears or the sight of a horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy. Beyond fathomable reason, my conscience refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into unknown depths. Somehow, even if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
You do not belong there, my love.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder on my own home, I think I deserve a little break every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be on the receiving end of so many unacceptable things within the span of a few hours, you know. As gracious a host and a person I am, my patience has its levels too. Very low. Although there's still that problem with Hana, I haven't forgotten that, of course, but that's why I hired Shotgun. Yeah, like you were given 2 hours, right? Is it over already? He's competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits who think they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of that little problem with Hana while I... Hana's body's still missing. Hana's still missing, and the trespasser's still out there.
You do not need her. I am here. We are here. This is where your home is.
Where you belong for all that blood you have shed. Come back to us. How long has it been since? Johans has never taken this long before.
Surely there should have been an update by now, right?
So why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it has always been the case. Oh boy, she is triggered. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst in from the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. I must have left it open earlier before dozing off. The carpet and the floor closest to it is already drenched. Hana would be crossed if she was still here. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's this power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, steering through this darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds or a gunshot in the chest.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's the storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather it in a much more comfortable setting. Already I can hear the creak and groans of this old place as rain beats against the windows.
Johans! Has someone been sent to check the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johans?
Silence.
Shroken! Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Come here. It has only been a few hours after midnight. If the time on my wristwatch is anything to go by. Unless I've forgotten to change it again after that last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable if he went looking for Hana as he promised. But yeah, my safety is also at stake here. Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes dry, and adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. If that butler isn't going to fix this, I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. It's probably just a blown fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket and with footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eye. On one of my drawers, underneath the clutter, I have yet to organize the muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hana has never openly commented my possession of it, but I know she does not approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Of course, I have not found much use for it in 7 years we have been together, otherwise she would have already had it thrown out years ago. Doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. Without second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piled above it onto the floor. Whatever, we'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first, and that's when he finds out. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns out.
Where the did everyone go?
There were two, weren't there? Shotgun had 2 globes posted to stand guard for the night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm not sure I haven't gotten delusional yet. Did both of them decide to take a break because they think the master's already sound asleep and I won't be looking for them?
Damn nitwits.
I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, and even less in a peaceful city like Luxmore, but blocks. There's been a woman going in and out of this place uninvited who may or may not want to put a knife in my bag. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Shotgun won't just enlist their help just for this power outage, only to leave me unprotected. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt that man is an opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands after all. He knows what I'm capable of doing. He's not stupid enough to do anything that would endanger them and save only himself. So where then? Only my footsteps echo along dark passage, and I'm left gripping the handle of my pistol for some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting and with the storm still raging outside, the stories I've heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm reaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I will say there might also be ghosts whispering in my ears, calling, "Oh, finally!" Of course, it's just the wind and the trees rustling outside. Nothing good will come of allowing these thoughts to linger when problems are piling up in front of me one after another. Especially with what greets me once I get to the foyer. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms, recognize them even. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come to my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. And if one of this Vox sort is on this, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, the estate agent, she doesn't seem the sort. And Daisy too? What will Kylie think of her Miss Pink if the poor type finds out about this? Not to mention Mint, Hana trusted her. I trusted her to be a professional at the very least. To top it all off, they all have the nerve, the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Very trespassers. What is wrong with these people? Did they really think I will be fine with them walking into my home like this? What are they even doing in here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hana's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
They must have a motive,
Make them pay
and it better be a good one.
for all the wrong made to us.
Or blood to the head is the least all of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, a real estate agent, an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time, its sound enclosed enough that it really feels as if the window and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. Don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there is something ominous in this setting, with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. Kinda like it, to be honest. Adds something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. You are. But short of me getting close to them, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmurs in my head. And it's a good thing perhaps that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser, great. Just as he's about to jump down from the furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? And did he really think it's alright to do that in other people's house? Locked.
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
And my hands already moving before any rationale can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter, he won't let the people he cares about be harmed. My finger on the triggers more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him. But more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Knives are in my hand. This knife is in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the floor and he looks up. And then you know what happens. Yep, he's already a prey trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that will bring negative attention to myself, reputation and all that. I just can't risk it. The thought of having more dead bodies here, it's already quite too much. It will literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own, even if he knows it's already too late. Still he glares at me, and we'll do it, and still he fights back.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There is no desperation in him like I'm hoping, just an annoyance flickering shortly before being sudden underneath the challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring down at them, mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time, like a damn pest you can't be rid of. But to some degree it is commendable. I will give him that. After all, we are almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course. He tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner. In defense of my own home, I have the right to, I'd like to think. Questionable permit of firearms aside, it's not like I wanted this, but I'm already high-strung and their presence does not help. Bloody peasants. You can never seem to figure how their minds fully work. And I should have also expected he won't let this end in this kind of standstill.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
Bumbo. A short lapse, it's all it is. One moment of letting my guard down. Before I can react, he fires 2 shots in quick succession. A sound crackling through the empty foyer, almost as loud as the storm raging outside, breaking the dense air in the room. Pain explodes in my wrist no 2 seconds later. Just a grace, however, it is enough to cause my hands to tense and the pistol slides to the floor with a dull thud.
Why, you insolent!
The next moment happened in a blur. In the following second, I am being tackled bodily to the ground, back hitting the cold floor hard and an arm pinning me down by the neck. There is a fleeting minute of panic and struggle while I try to untangle myself from him before he manages to knock me out. And then, a scream, a wail piercing through the thick hair, shrill and sharp enough for both of us to cover our ears and hunker down on our knees. And with each sharp note beating harshly against my head are the images again. Faces and voices so utterly unfamiliar, sipping into every crevice, turning sinister with each shift. They are not mine, but they might as well be with how vivid and crisp they appear. Over and over, they all flash behind my eyes until it becomes unbearable. Pounding, throbbing, thudding against my skull, worse than any headache a hangover can give. Bloody, I will take a hangover over this any day. A haze begins to fill my vision as black spots dance around the corners of my eyes. Besides me, the detective suddenly moves, shouting a name I don't quite hear, and then... yuck. In the next second, he falls, down on one knee, desperately trying to keep himself up with what strength he has left. But eventually his own body caves in, taking the horrified Lily down with him, muttering quietly to her as something distinctly red flows from his body. Blood? Yes, that's blood. This man isn't supposed to be dead yet. He isn't supposed to. I didn't shot him, I'm sure of it. So what killed him? What the bloody business is going on here? Is it so wrong to just want a quiet night where nothing needs attending to? Just one normal night? You can see this big rod in his chest, like you can see something red coming out, but not the rod. Quickly everything has turned crazy with perilous happenings that are hard to explain. But it seems that when it comes to me, that is always around the corner. I want to look him over. This is going to cause more problems. All this screaming and crying for a detective who's died for no apparent reason is giving me a migraine. I need to get all these people out of my house. I can't. One way or the other. But in the blurry mess of my vision, none of this registers enough to compel my body to move. Nothing does, except for the voice unexpectedly ringing out of the Discord, and when I finally gather the strength to look up, everything falls away into the background. All that matters is her.
I told you, didn't I? Everything you're doing is useless, Ashton Frey. And now, you're dying. Meddlesome fool.
Hannah?
Let's see now.
You're not supposed to be here.
For a moment, I wondered if it had been me who had died and not her. After all, that can be the only logical explanation as to why I hardly draw breath while she stands there. Of course, another logical explanation would be that I'm high and everybody in the room are high, and this is a really, really bad trip. Either reason doesn't suit me. though it can't very well be the former. Even from down here, I can see the blood that stains from her dress. Seeing that makes me feel as if my hands are covered in them once more. Warm and sticky, sweet and sickly.
Oh, Luke, darling, my love. You look so upset. Are you not happy to see me?
But let's be honest here, any explanation, any reason as to why a dead woman walks once more is a bad one to me, especially when it's the last one that I've killed. It's the one that I've killed. How even?
How can this be? You're...
Do you not find my presence desirable anymore, my love?
What sort of sick joke is this?
Tell me what's wrong, my dear prince. Does my presence leave you so speechless?
She says with a smile on her face, stiff and forced. A dead body's parts doesn't seem as malleable as they would be on a living human. She takes a step forward and her movements are stiff and choppy, like a corpse being forced into position despite the rigor mortis, like the corpse that she should be. I find my voice once more when she takes a careful step forward. Just the thought of that thing approaching just makes my skin crawl. She stops to listen, fixated on my voice and on my words.
No, you're not. You're not supposed to be here. You can't be here. You're dead.
The "I kill you" is left unsaid considering present company.
And I have returned. For you.
You don't have to do this. You can still have it all, Luke. Just please. Don't you love me? We would have been so beautiful.
I can still hear her pleas as she begs me not to be rid of her. Not once have I forgotten this particular crime of my own. No matter how much I wash my hands, I can still see her blood on them. She's dead. That is an irrefutable fact, and nothing short of the devil would bring her back.
Why are you acting this way, my love? Does this not make you happy?
With that face and creepy and everything? No. I feel like there's something lodged in my throat, and my heart feels like it's being set on with how tight my chest feels.
Of course I'm happy to see you again, Hannah. Of course I love you, Hannah. But how do I know you're... How do I know you're you, darling?
Whatever do you mean? You look perturbed. Why not come here? I can make you feel better.
If by act of some malevolent god she was back, I don't think she would take too kindly to what I had done to her. This certainly isn't what I would expect. Not the fixated gaze or these loving words. There is no accusation in them, no anger when Hannah has every right to look at me so. My guilt is overshadowed by the oddity of this illogical circumstance.
No, stay where you are, stay back! Don't go near me! Don't touch me!
It is that rejection which turns her expression absolutely fearsome and everything turns to complete and utter shite. And with that, I'm gonna end the episode right here. Oh boy, I know I'm quite close to the end. Maybe it will take half an hour or more. But yeah, we're quite close and we will do that in the next episode. So next episode might just be the last episode of this chapter. And possibly the game, I will say, of my first run, I will say. Because yeah, there are other routes to take, which I will definitely take in the later episodes. So for now, we are done with this episode and done for today. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please click that like button, subscribe for more awesome content, comment down below your thoughts, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Because this was so amazing and I can't wait to see what happens from here. So goodbye and Shabakeh.